Seahawks lead at 26-21 and look to end the game here with a first down.
Listen up, here we go. Hey, remember any signal. Gun double right close, halfback right. 200 triple slant, thunder, all one, ready, two.
Third down and 6 to go on their own 45. The Panthers must stop them to have a chance.
Green 80, set. Green 80, right.
Wilson drops back and he's brought down by Kuechly. The ball is out and the Panthers recover it. It's Davis who falls on it, and the Panthers will have the ball with less than 2 minutes remaining and only one timeout.
Jim, what an aggressive play call by Pete Carroll that time. Nobody in the backfield to protect Russell Wilson. Kuechly gets the sack, and Davis makes the recovery.
And just like last season, Richard Sherman and Seattle's defense will be called on to preserve the lead on the final drive.
Lead them. They'll follow you. Let's go.
And now the moment every quarterback dreams of.
Well, Jim, so far today has been anything but a dream for Cam Newton. This Seattle defense, they have been all over him. They have been relentless.
40 yards to determine the NFC champion.
All right, Cam, empty right, gone right, 93 Ohio, wide juke shake, F under. Hit the X, they're playing a song.
Okay. Let's go do what we do, fellas. Let's go be great and win this game. Why not us? Hey, be alert on the cover 4 now. Be alert on the corners. Here we go. We got empty right, gone right, 93 Ohio, wide juke shake, F under, on 101. Ready?
August 26 marked the release of the annual football juggernaut and perennial frat boy favorite, Madden NFL 15 on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. No game franchise, other than Call of Duty of course, comes under more fire for being a non-gamers game than Madden does, and the criticisms raised against it are valid. Yes, it is released annually, which leads to paying full price for the same game every year, but does Madden 15 really deserve the hate that this franchise gets? When you boot up the game, you are greeted with the best opening of any Madden game, if not any sports game ever. You take control of Cam Newton and the Panthers playing against the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks in the 2015 NFC Championship game. With a minute 23 remaining in the fourth quarter, Carolina recovers a fumble and takes control of the football in the Seahawks 40. Carolina trails 21-26 and needs a touchdown to win the game. At this point, you take control of the Panthers in their do-or-die final drive. It's entirely up to you if you take the Panthers to the Super Bowl or give that privilege to Seattle. The opening is nearly identical to the real thing, and the presentation is so well done that I forgot I was even playing a video game. Even though I'm not a Panthers fan, I wanted to see the Panthers get to the Super Bowl, and it was all up to me to do it. And this is where Madden 15 really shines, its presentation. Lots of little touches are thrown in to mimic what it's like to watch the NFL on TV. The voice acting by Jim Nantz and Phil Simms is excellent, and Electronic Arts spent a lot of time making the commentary feel real. The commentators will pause between words and add in ums and wells to make the speech sound like a live broadcast. Little facts are thrown in about specific teams during each game. Did you know that during World War II, the Steelers and Eagles played a season together as the same team, called the Steagles? Thanks to Madden, now we know that. And you can see Electronic Arts adding depth and attention to detail in other areas as well. There is a high amount of control of your team off the field. The connected franchise allows you to play as a single player, a coach, or an owner of a team both online and off. In addition, you can play the Ultimate Team game mode, which delivers an experience similar to fantasy football, where you open packs of cards to improve your team. Madden 15 also goes into football theory and strategy more than previous versions. In addition to actually explaining the rationale behind the suggested plays in-game, there are lots of useful tips and suggestions about how you as a player and as a coach should react in a variety of different situations. Madden 15 feels like a blend of serious sports simulator and fun arcade-style gameplay, but thankfully you only have to micromanage as much as you want. The computer will take care of the rest. In terms of gameplay, the actual football game is largely unchanged. Electronic Arts has added some new features to the defensive side of the ball. In addition to the hit stick, you can use A for a conservative tackle or X for a diving one. Instead of previous years where you basically steered your player towards the ball carrier, you can actually tackle players in different ways, and this gives you a feeling of control while on defense, as opposed to previous years where it seems that the computer did half of the defensive work for you. Coincidentally, this also results in much lower scoring and realistic games than we are used to from Madden. Rather than the usual 56-6 blowouts that we've seen in previous versions of the game, it's normal to win or lose a game 10-6 in the final seconds of the fourth quarter. The AI has been beefed up, and this added level of difficulty makes pulling off a skin-of-your-teeth win all the more satisfying. Sounds pretty good, right? So is Madden 15 for you? Well, if you don't have any interest in American football, the answer is no. Madden is the annual celebration for sports fans and football nerds, and it definitely caters to its intended audience. The same criticisms that plague Madden as well as sports games in general are the same again this year. After a few games, the gameplay starts to get very repetitive, and that combined with noticing that the commentators started to repeat themselves meant that I could only play 1 or 2 games at a time. If you don't have at least a passing interest in football statistics, the nuances of the game, or even just a favorite team, you will get bored very, very quickly. This is not the kind of game that builds on itself and progresses as you play. Week after week, every game is the same. Sure, playing the 49ers is a lot different from playing the Jaguars, but you would be surprised how good bad teams can be. In the same vein, there is no real sense of accomplishment in finishing the season and winning the Super Bowl. After taking the Eagles all the way, I found the result to be very anticlimactic. There is a little fanfare and some confetti, but the celebration is short and you are abruptly thrown back to the same blue menu screen that you have been staring at the entire game. While there are some added graphics and mentions by the commentators, the Super Bowl is treated just like any other game. I would call Madden NFL 15 brilliant. It's nowhere near perfect, and if you play long enough, you will notice glitches and flaws all over the place. But the game continues to be entertaining and easy to pick up and play, while still maintaining enough of a challenge that you will actually stand up and cheer when you score a game-winning touchdown. This is Frank from Brilliantly Epic, and see you next time.